Hasaan Bennett, also known as @the_litigator. That's DA_LITIGATOR. With Philly Fame Live.
Philly Fame. Alright, so Hasaan, man, we live from Philly right now, fresh out of the long stretch you just did. Know what I mean? So before we get into that part of your story, because like you just recently came home within what, like maybe a few weeks?
I just came home Monday.
So not even a week yet.
Yeah, 3 days ago.
Right. So you really fresh out.
Yeah.
So before we get into that part of your story, as far as how you end up in front of the camera today, I want to start from the very beginning of your story for the people who are not really too familiar with you. So you're from West Philly originally?
Yes,
correct?
The Overbrook section.
Overbrook section of West Philly, you know what I mean? A famous part of Philly from back in the days. You're talking Will Smith and
Cool C.
I mean, yeah, a bunch of legends from the city.
Yes.
So give people your story a little bit from your upbringing, your family life, like what it was like in your childhood, stuff like that. A little bit of background.
Well, I grew up in a low-income area. Most of us were struggling. Even when you look like you're doing good, you my next door neighbor, so you ain't doing too much better than me. So I'm struggling. My mama worked. My family, it was like 8 of us in the house. So we grew up and we became accustomed with the neighborhood. We made friends within the neighborhood. We talked to people in the neighborhood, and this became our family, our big family.
Okay, got you. So prior to you getting incarcerated and doing all that time, just give a brief rundown about what life was like for you prior to all of that stuff happening.
Prior to all of that stuff, I was into the streets. I was into the streets for real. I'm from Lansdowne Avenue, 61st and Lansdowne, and that was like the pride of my life. These guys was the pride of my life. The Overbrook section was the pride of my life. We used to call ourselves the Hill before this. We depended on each other. We took out for each other. Your mom was my mom. This is how it came about.
Right. So some time passed, and 2006 comes along, and a situation takes place, and someone ended up putting your name in the mix.
Yeah.
So now you end up getting incarcerated for it. So now you got to sit down for this crime. So what was the initial, mindset and mentality going through that situation when they first come grab you, they lock you up, charge you with it, now you got to fight it?
I didn't care. My mom was like, they're stupid. They can't find me guilty of something I didn't do. They can't find me guilty of something I didn't do. But then at the same time, I was kind of nervous. So instead of studying law when I first got locked up, I just did the regular jailhouse stuff. Went around playing cards, trying to play basketball, fights, trying to get talk on the phone. The regular jailhouse, the average person that comes to jail does.
Okay. So at what point did your mentality shift? Like, I need to get in this law library and see what's going on and try to,
After my first trial. My first trial ended in a mistrial because a witness knew one of the jurors, and he told the juror, from what I hear in the neighborhood, he's not the one that did it. The juror told the judge, and she declared a mistrial. The trial didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like I was coming home. It didn't feel like they couldn't find me guilty of a crime I didn't do. It felt like, the deck was stacked against me, but I didn't know how. So I went and began researching, and I ended up finding myself at the rules of evidence, the credibility, how to weigh and challenge credibility of a witness. And I thought that was the answer. I thought I had the answer when I went to my second trial. I knew how to write motions as well. So I went in there like, we're going to attack the witnesses like this, that, and I would tell my lawyer, hoping that he did it. I went through another trial on December 16th, the trial started. And I was found guilty of second-degree murder, possession of an instrument in crime, aggravated assault, and conspiracy, and sentenced to life in prison on December 22nd, 2008.
Okay, so that was your second trial, and you was convicted of it. And from what I read, because they did an article on you for the Daily News, for the Enquirer and all that, and they said that you actually was able to get that verdict overturned because you successfully argued that you had inadequate counsel.
It sounds easy. That sound like real easy, huh?
Go ahead and give him that rundown. Like
it wasn't easy. When I first went upstate, I had a co-defendant who testified against me. They locked him in a cell, and once he got in that cell, he started bragging. He says, "I know you ain't. So what? He ain't do it. He ain't about that life. That ain't even his work. Work meaning evil deed. That's ownership." So all the people that heard him say that, they came down and testified. Yo, he just said he ain't do it. He said it ain't even his work. He lied when he testified against him. The prosecution, to counter these 4 witnesses, they put him on the stand. And he admit, I lied. Yep, why you lied? Because I didn't want to get life. Yep, I took the deal when I lied. So then after he testifies to that, they ask him who you did it with, who did you do it with? And he says, you don't need to know all that. And he refused to say who he did it with. So now it's the judges. The case law says recantation, because that's what it is. It's a recantation. The case law says recantation is the most unreliable source of after discovered evidence. That means you can't believe it. You got to look at it with a scrutiny eyes. And the judge has to decide whether she believes this trial testimony or his recantation when he says he lies. The trial testimony was so good because it was prepared. It was prepped by detectives, a lawyer, as well as the district attorney's office. So he was good when he testified in trial. When he came back, he was trying to be a gangster again.
Wow.
So they denied me. Then I went upstate. I stopped studying law for about a good 6 months. From January 2010 to about July 2010, I didn't study law. Somebody had to come to me and say, yo, get in the law library. You tripping. You just gonna let him get you life? And I went in the law library. I began to study and learn and more. So by the time I hired a private investigator, sent him out. In 2011, he found 2 witnesses. And I kept studying. I filed what's called a Post Collateral Relief Act, PCRA. And I asked the lower court again, listen, look, I got evidence. I got evidence that I didn't do it. On Post Collateral Relief Act, you have to prove that you were wrongfully convicted of a crime you didn't do. You have to prove that by a preponderance of evidence. That's evidence more reliable to the trier of fact, which is the judge, than the prosecution. More reliable to the trier of fact than that of the opposing party. The opposing party is the prosecution. So in layman's terms, I had to present evidence that I was innocent that was more reliable to the judge than the prosecution's evidence. And I did it. Well, I had to get rid of a lawyer because he was ready to sabotage me. October 3rd, 2014, my petition was ready to be denied. This is a crucial stage. If your petition is denied on this stage, your chances of getting back is even slimmer. Your chances is already slim once you convicted. Your chances of getting back is even slimmer if you get denied on the PCRA stage. So I got rid of the lawyer, petitioned, and decided to represent myself. I petitioned the court for another private investigator. This time I want the court to pay for it. They acknowledged it and said it was cool. After that, then they allowed me to file a new petition. And when I filed a new petition, I went in court and argued at another evidentiary hearing. And that evidentiary hearing, after that evidentiary hearing, about 9-10 months later, I was granted a new trial.
So that would be your 3rd trial now at this point.
Now I'm ready to go to my 3rd trial. And in the 3rd trial, I got 11-1. 11 jurors wanted to find me innocent. 1 juror wanted to find me guilty. And it ended in a hung jury.
Okay. So you got basically 1 jury that wanted to make you guilty out of 12.
Yeah, 1 juror.
And that resulted in a hung jury.
Yes.
So now you had to come back for your 4th trial.
Yes.
I mean, in which you represented yourself as well.
Yes.
So at the time that you was representing yourself for these 2 situations, did you ever question maybe I should get another lawyer, or was you?
No. I just was successful in cross-examining witnesses on the Post Collateral Relief Act. As a lifer, I was successful at cross-examining a witness, objecting to some of the prosecution's questions, presenting the closing argument. So the confidence level was there. I was successful in arguing with an attorney who had been an attorney for over 30 years. I was successful with arguing with him about my issues, about why he wasn't doing his job. So that's 2 incidents that I was successful on and arguing inside the courtroom. So by the time I went to my 3rd trial, I was confident. I didn't care who you put on the opposing side. I prepared. I studied the prosecution. I studied their case. I studied their tactics. The only thing I wasn't prepared for, and no one can prepare for, is what's called a prep session. Because you don't know what the prosecution is saying when it comes to those prep sessions. They could tell their witnesses anything.
Gotcha. So also, while defending yourself, it was one other thing that you did that was, they looked at as kind of odd, or, like most people wouldn't try to do this in this situation. Represent yourself while wearing your prison attire. Did you ever think about that consciously? Like, maybe this might be work against me doing this? Like, did you ever think about that?
Every rapper say, yeah, I ride for my boys upstate, don't they? Mm-hmm. Every rapper say, yeah, I write my man upstate, I send him money upstate, right? But that ain't got nothing to do with this right here. I wanted to let them know I'm telling you the truth. I'm not hiding nothing. They wanted me to wear a suit. Why wear a suit if I'm locked up? They said because we don't want the jury to know you're locked up. If you didn't want the jury to know you're locked up, then why'd you lock me up? Why'd you keep me in jail? We're gonna let the jury know everything. And we're gonna tell you to present your evidence you have. And I'm gonna challenge that evidence. Then I'm gonna present the evidence I have, and I'm gonna give you a chance to challenge that evidence. And after that, we're gonna come with the best closing arguments. We're gonna come with, I'm gonna make my closing argument and you're gonna make your closing argument. See, in a sense, it's like when the two rappers are battling on the street corners and he's talking his stuff and the other one's talking his stuff. And then the crowd decides who wins.
So ultimately in this fourth trial, obviously it went the way you wanted it to go because you wouldn't be standing right here in front of us right now.
81 minutes.
So let's give them that spill. Your fourth trial, you go in there, you give them your spill, and then they say...
It wasn't a person that they put up on a stand. It wasn't a prosecution witness, not a cop. Hold on, let me rewind that. The medical examiner was honest. Every other witness, I caught in lies. I caught in contradicting testimony prior. They contradict them. They contradict each other. They fumbled over each other. I caught them all in lies. And that comes with preparation.
Right. So when they finally, concluded the hearing, and you found out that it went your way.
The trial?
Yeah, the trial, my bad. Mm-hmm. And you found out it went your way, even though you were super confident and you knew you was innocent,
happy.
You know that it's still a chance the judge might still rule against you.
No.
But when they did rule in your favor, go ahead, give them that. You said you was happy, so explain that.
Well, I was happy, but when they called me upstairs, I thought the jury was calling me for a question. I thought they was just asking me a question, and to help them deliberate, I thought they may have been asking for some evidence. But when I saw 3 sheriffs, I've been through a couple trials now. I know what's going on. When I saw 3 sheriffs, I said, all right, they calling me in here for a verdict. They got the verdict. When I knew that fast that they had the verdict, and I watched how the trial went, and I know how I caught every cop in they lie, and I know how I put up a corrupt detective, and I proved that he was corrupt. I proved that he was there, and every witness said this detective had coerced their statements. When I stood in there, I knew it was going to be a not guilty verdict. But when I heard them actually say, first-degree murder, we find the defendant not guilty, I grabbed the standby counsel, and I gave him a hug. Like, yeah, we did it. We certified.
Okay. So then, like you said, it was only a couple days ago, right? So when you finally get out of there after being locked down for almost 13 years, right?
Yeah.
Almost 13. So you finally get out in the world. What was that like for you after 13 years, bro?
It felt good. I talked to the Daily News, and my friends came and picked me up. While I was talking to the Daily News, they pull up, oh, come on, get in the car. It felt good. It felt good to hug my family. It felt good to hug my family without a guard telling me, hey, sit down, that's enough. It felt good to freely somebody pick you up and pick me up without somebody saying, oh, you're doing too much. Sit down. Sit down. It felt good to be unrestricted, be unchained. It felt good.
Right. So, like, once again, you only been a couple days, bro, but I gotta ask, what's your plans moving forward while you home? Like, Benz, do you represented yourself? Is you trying to, help some other brothers in that situation like that? Like, what's your plan moving forward?
I not only want to help other people in a situation, I want to help you understand your situation. And that's before. That's even before you get to prison. I want to teach other people their rights. You gotta understand. You graduate from high school about 17. You spend 4 years in college. You're required to. You spend 4 years in college before you get that degree, right? After that, you go on to law school. So you're not in law school until 21, 22. That's when you're in law school. Then you take 4 years of law school. 4 years. That's 25. Then you work side by side with lawyers. You work side by side with prosecutors. You work as a clerk. They prep them. So by the time they step in court, they have been prepared. They have experience. They know the law. Now you look at it from that standpoint, and you look at it, the average people getting locked up now is between 18 to 21. But they didn't even start going through law school until 21. So the people they facing have already went through the 4 years of law school, already went through the 4 years of college. Not to mention the neighborhood schools. Their education level is not of standard. So you're behind the 8 ball. You don't even know privilege of walking this land. You don't know anything you're facing. All you know is you're the defendant, that's the lawyer, that's the judge, that's the prosecutor trying to put you away, and you're in court. When you have that, it's a problem. When you don't understand the mechanics, the force that is up against you, what are you gonna do? How can you win? You're dependent on somebody else. Self-reliance is important. If you play basketball and I play basketball, I'm gonna trust myself over you. We can play each other, let's ball. You hear me? If you don't know how to play basketball and I've been playing for 10 years, I'm gonna whoop you. You can't tell me if I walked. You can't tell me if I double dribbled. You can't tell me if I shot, if I goaltended your ball. You can't tell me if I fouled you because you don't know nothing. So I'm here. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to tell you what you should know. Because just like I was wrongfully convicted, just like somebody set me up, they could set you up. They can set anybody out there up. They can set your kids up. I can be, Hasaan Bennett could be any one of you. But also, I need you to know, someone died in this situation. We need to remember the person that died. We need to be showing him some love too. We need to be showing condolences to Devin English. We need to be trying to help his family deal with the grief that they have too.
Alright, on that note, you plugged your IG earlier when we first started. Go ahead, plug your joint again. Do you got any other contact method, or is that the main one?
That's the main one. I don't really know how to work the other stuff. I'm learning. I don't know how to work Facebook yet. I don't know how to work Twitter. I don't know how to work Facebook. I don't know how to work Twitter. I don't know how to work YouTube. But I'm finding my way. Just look me up. Hasaan Bennett, the litigator. You can spell it T-H-E, litigator, or you can spell it D-A_litigator. I'm around.
Alright, man, before we get out of here, is anything else you want to let the people know? Anything else you want to speak on?
Free the real.